is going to be working on our core stability and strength. So for tonight's class, you'll need bolsters, a strap, pillow, blanket, anything to bolster yourself with, and a block if you have one. And so we're going to begin tonight's class on our backs. So what I'd like for you to do is when we're getting down onto our backs, a lot of times it is very nice for us to bolster like a little under the shoulders and the head. So what I have done is I've created something I'm going to put my shoulders on and then a little bit higher for my head. And if that, and that could end up being too high, and I'll walk you through that. So we'll come down. So I like to come down by bringing my arms, forearms to the floor and then on my elbows, and I like to just keep my chin tucked and then release back. So I'm just going to scoot, and the feeling that I want to have is a feeling that my ribs are not thrusted up like so. So I have my ribs kind of thrusted. I want my ribs and my pelvis, so my hip bones, to be on the same plane. So you want the ribs to be nice and flat down. So I'm just moving down so that the bolstering or the blanket is a little under my shoulders. And if I removed this, I'm okay here, but for you, especially if your chin is pointing up towards the ceiling, we really want to have that nice long neck in the back. So I'm going to just put this little, it's a very cushiony pillow, so it works. So here I feel, and you'll know when you have it because you'll feel the most at ease. So I feel way more at ease with something under my head than I did if I took it out. Here, because I have myself bolstered under the shoulders, I'm letting my ribs just drop down. So I don't want my ribs thrusted up, okay? So you just want your ribs down. And my knees are bent about pelvis width distance apart, my feet are. And we're just going to start by breathing here. So even just take your hands onto your belly. And so here you should notice you have a small arch under your lower back, or just natural arch. You may want to check in to see what your pelvis is doing. If you have a tendency to tuck the pelvis under or really rock it forward, just find that neutral spot, especially where it's really nice and comfy for you. It's just the main idea is to be nice and comfy. So you can have your knees apart, or you can drop your knees towards each other and stay there. Bring in your hands onto our belly, and we're simply just going to notice our breath. So closing your eyes. And just noticing the breath. And what I mean by that is just noticing how you're breathing in this moment. It's a quick breath, a shallow breath. I want you to really try to relax around the belly. And release any tension around the face and the shoulders, between the eyes. Notice if you clench around the pelvic floor as well. Trying to release all the areas around the abdomen. Just really trying to notice what it feels like to let go or release that holding on or tension that we often have around the belly. So as you relax all those places, let's bring your attention to the breath. And perhaps take a couple big inhales and exhales. A lot of times when we do abdominal work, we already start from this place of tension because we oftentimes unknowingly are clenching around our abdomen. And then when we go to do our abdominal exercises, we're already starting from that place of contraction. So we're just trying to become aware of our own breathing and our own habits. So now you can open your eyes if you have them closed, or you can keep them closed. Then you can extend the legs, still trying to maintain that nice relaxed torso, nice relaxed breath. We can reach our arms now, trying to keep the ribs still where they are. We're going to raise our arms up into the air and just bring them behind, and only bring them as far as you can without the ribs coming up. Be very gentle with the first couple. So you're not trying to really go beyond that place where you feel a little stuck. You're just respecting that spot, maybe even coming inside of that spot, but not going beyond that. And just notice, perhaps just reach your fingers forward or behind you. And come down. And you can bring the arms now out to your sides, and you can either just be along the floor. If the arms don't come out to the floor comfortably, just hover them a little bit and come up above your head and around. I have some things in my way, so you have to hold my arms up. Let your arms just relax down by your sides. Let your feet and your legs, everything relax. Come back to your breath. And we'll just move our heads gently from side to side. So the neck is nice and long, and you're just moving your head from side to side. Coming to center, and you'll just do some circles. So it's just like you're tracing the numbers of a clock with your nose. And you'll just go around in one direction and then go around a couple times in the other direction. Come back to center, take a breath. Now just open your mouth really wide, so just getting a nice jaw stretch here. So open your mouth really wide and then move your jaw from side to side. And then open your mouth really, really wide and squeeze. And relax. And then another one. Moving the jaw from side to side if you want. And then open your mouth really wide. And then relaxing the face. Bringing your attention back into the abdomen. Making sure that you're still completely relaxed there. And I want you to just move your legs a little tiny bit to the right. So I'm just going to bring my right leg to the right a little bit, followed by my left. And then my arms are overhead. So you can bring the arms overhead and then bring your arms a little over to the right as well. So you can be lifting your shoulders off to move yourself over if you want, and only go as far as you're comfortable here. So you're really getting a nice side stretch from the shoulder, your left shoulder, all the way down to your hip. But you're still letting the body be nice and calm and relaxed here. And then come over to center, and we'll just move over to the other side. So I'm letting my arms relax here on my pillow, that's fine. So we're really just getting, it's about getting this stretch here. So on your side. So I'm just coming over a little tiny bit to the left now and bringing my arms over to the left as well. So my shoulders. And just breathing here. I'm getting a stretch to the right side. And one more breath. And come back to center. And now bring the arms back down and bend your knees. Again, you may need to situate yourself. I like to make sure that my pelvis is nice and level, or nice and neutral. And sometimes you may want to check that by just doing a few tilts of your pelvis back and forth to find that nice neutral ground, whatever that is for you. And sometimes people like to kind of take the hips and the pelvic bone there and just make sure that that's on like an even plane, and that's some indication that your pelvis is level. And my ribs, I can feel the back of my ribs touching. I still have this bolstering happening, and a small arch under the lower back. And so I'm going to raise the right leg now, or the knee, and I'm just going to internally rotate that leg. So the movement I'm trying to initiate from the femur bone right into the hip socket. So I'm just closing and opening that leg. So I'm bringing the foot towards me and then away. But really not initiating so much from the foot as you're really trying to initiate the movement in the hip. And now when you have it over, we're going to go right into the figure four. So you're going to bring the right ankle on top of the left thigh. And if it's too much for you, or if as soon as you did that, your back tucked or your pelvis tucked and you flattened your lower back, just move that other leg out a little bit, okay? So you don't have to have that left leg as close to you. If you're okay there, or wherever you're okay, you're going to just make sure that you're just kind of pushing the knee away from you. Take a breath, relax your abdomen. And now you can bring that leg closer to you. Sometimes it's just nice to come up on the toe of that bottom leg. Or you can bring the leg as close to you as you can without the lower back flattening to the floor. And you can even do a little moving here. So just swaying from side to side a little tiny bit. Be very gentle. And release. And take a breath. The other leg, so internal, external rotation. Making sure that you can breathe with ease. And now opening up the knee and taking the ankle onto the thigh. Make any adjustments you need. You can flex that foot if you want. Moving that leg closer to you if it's available to you, or lifting the leg off the floor. Notice that you may feel a lot more tightness on one side compared to the other. And a little movement from side to side if you want. It's like a very small movement though, so we're not taking the pelvis off the floor or anything, just a really, really slight sway from side to side. Nice, easy breaths. And you can release and take the top leg off of the bottom leg. And now what we will do is we may do a little bit more bolstering here. So you can come onto your side and then get your other bolster ready. So I'm actually going to use, this is quite big, and it's, you don't necessarily have to have something this thick, but I think 2 pillows, like 2 pillows that you would use in your bed, would work perfectly. So you're going to try to get this pelvis or this bolster underneath your pelvis. So there's different ways you can do that. So I'm just going to, I think one of the easiest ways is actually to put it underneath your knees first, come down. Oh, and before you get too comfortable, I should add, now is the time to grab your strap and your block before you get in this position and have it very close to you so that you can reach it. So I'm just going to roll this bolster. So I'm just going to lift my hips nice and high. This is really high, but you do want something pretty high. The higher you have, the easier this might be for you in a good way, easy in a good way. So we have this under us. And again, it's going to be one of those things you're going to adjust until it feels just right. So I have this underneath like my lower back. I feel very supported. And the reason why I have it there is so that I can bring my legs straight up in the air with much more ease than if it wasn't there. I wouldn't be able to get my legs up and feel comfortable up here without this here. So again, my ribs and my pelvis are all in this, my torso is all in this neutral plane. So I don't have my ribs sticking up, like I don't have an arch in my back or anything. And so you can just really have a little bit of fun here by opening the legs wide and closing them. Hopefully you're all very comfortable here. You can scissor the legs, just getting comfortable here, getting comfortable with your breath, getting comfortable with just being in this position and making sure that, you know, you feel nice and secure here. I'm just going to start by pointing my toes down towards my face and then my toes up towards the ceiling. You can have your hands in your belly, reminding you to take nice, easy breaths, no clenching in the belly, around the pelvis, nice and relaxed. Just going in circles now with my ankles. Any kind of movement that feels nice here, go ahead and do it. I like to do this like scissoring up the legs. And now take your block, and if you don't have a block, you can use a fist or 2 fists. You could put a Kleenex box there, may work fine. However, you are going to be squeezing it a little bit. Perhaps a book, or you don't need to have anything at all and you'll still be fine. So I have this between my knees and it's just a gentle squeeze together. And we're going to go into this internal and external rotation again with our legs up in the air. So I'm just really thinking about my femur bones rotating in my hip sockets. A gentle squeeze. And what I want you to notice when you come to externally rotate and your heels come together, just make sure that your heels don't collapse right in together, okay? So really trying to keep the heels apart as you're internally and externally rotating. So it makes it a little more difficult here to do that because a lot of times our heels will want to just kind of collapse in towards each other. Nice, easy movements. So just internal, external rotation. Relax everywhere else. Relax your face and your shoulders. When we're doing these, we want to get a little tired. So And when you externally rotate, you can hold there for a bit. Nice, easy breath. All of that action really in your adductors, not too much. We don't want to be clenching the glutes, okay? Just the inner thighs doing the work. And now externally rotate, or internally rotate, sorry, the other way, I just had it externally rotated. Did I say that? If I said it wrong, pardon me. So now I'm internally rotated and I'm holding. So my big toes are kind of towards each other. So my legs are internally rotated. And I'm just holding, and now I'm going to go right back into the internal and external rotation. A couple more times. And release. So you can move your block, you can have your legs up in the air again, or you can just have your knees pointed up towards the ceiling, taking a break, coming back to your breath. I always have to look at my notes because, well, because my memory is bad. Okay. So now we're going to take your strap. And here's when we're about to get into a little bit more of a core work here. So we're just going to have our strap so that, you know, we can hold it above a little wider than shoulder width distance. And we're going to bring the legs up into the air. And I'm going to just start with the strap above my shoulders, so just up in the air. And what I want to do now is I'm going to bring both my legs towards my straps. So I'm just trying to see if I can touch my strap. So just notice how you do. Notice what happens. We don't want you to be getting your legs to the strap from momentum, okay? So this is just nice and controlled. And you can bring the strap closer to your legs. And you can creep it a little further from you if you want. Just keep going with this movement. And remember, we don't want to start with this clenched belly. So just noticing that your belly is nice and relaxed. And you're just trying to get your belly to react or respond to the movement, okay? So you're still doing this. Nice, easy breaths. Maybe you want to pull the strap a little further away from you. It doesn't matter if your pelvis lifts, right? You're not trying to keep your pelvis down. We'll do a couple more. Remember, these are all great things you can be doing just as little exercises by themselves. We'll do one more. Okay. What can we do? Let's see if we can get our leg now underneath our strap. So you can bring the strap further down. If you find it really hard to get the foot, if you got short arms or anything like that, or you just need a little bit more height to your strap, just kind of like push your strap up with like a finger, your middle finger or index finger, so you can get a little bit more height on the strap. And you're trying to put one leg over and then bring it back. And I just want you to notice when you're doing this, we'll do one and then the other. I just want you to notice what is going on with your knees, or how it is that what you need to do to your body or to your legs to get them underneath the strap, okay? So is your knee coming out to the side? Just try to do it so your knee stays. And like I said, you can move the strap to get your leg through. It is just noticing what your tendency is. And then the other. So a lot of times our knee will want to come out to the side. You're trying to keep it straight. You can get the strap, the leg through the strap. And again, my left knee really wants to come out to the side. Just noticing it. Nice, easy breath. Whew. I'm gonna do my right one more, 2 more times. Perhaps you want to bring your strap down and give your arms a little rest. You can have the legs up in the air. If you want to do a little toe exercise here, see if you can move your big toe opposite of the rest of the toes. Maybe some more ankle rolls. And again, we'll bring the strap up again. And now this time you're going to try to bring 2 of your legs through. Okay, so again, your strap can be a little lower. You can try to get it a little taller with poking your fingers up in the strap. And we're going to try to get both legs. And if you really have to hold your breath or anything to get here, then maybe you want to just lower it down a little more. So I'm just bending, getting my feet under. So you may not feel completely like, oh, I'm doing so much core work, but believe me, you're doing core work. Okay, we'll do a couple more. One more. Just noticing what your feet, how your both legs may behave a little differently. So that was it for that. Again, just come back to your breath. You can open and close the legs here. And we're going to come right over onto hands and knees. So very gently coming off of the bolster, I'm going to just lift up my hips and push it out. Roll over onto my side and then come up onto hands and knees. Now you may want to have something under your knees to make it more comfortable for you. So you can take your blanket and put it under your knees. So taking your hands and putting them about shoulder width distance apart underneath the shoulders, and you're going to have your hands nice and wide. And when you're on your hands and knees, you really want to feel all of the weight kind of pressed evenly throughout your fingers and your hands. So just like if you want to leave a perfect handprint in the snow, you want it all to be at the same depth. So you're really thinking about that when you're putting your hands, when you're on your hands and knees. Maybe a little bit of an external rotation in your shoulders is like this wrapping feeling, nice and solid in the shoulders. Knees are underneath the hips. We're just going to start with a little shoulder roll. So really just bringing the shoulder blades together and moving the shoulder blades down the back. And then again, so you're just dropping, bringing the shoulder blades together, and you're kind of moving up. So you're almost doing a backward circle or counterclockwise circle. I'm just really trying to do circles with my shoulder blades, and now I'm coming in the other direction. So I'm just bringing the shoulder blades together, and I'm kind of rolling the shoulders up a little towards the ear. So just nice, gentle, I'm not bending the elbows. And now just a couple straight up and down. So rhomboid push-up, bringing the shoulder blades together. Arms are nice and straight. Still pushing evenly above the surface of your hands. And then shoulder blades together and shoulder blades apart. So you're just dropping and the shoulder blades come together. You're really moving from the shoulder blades. And now I'm pushing my shoulder blades apart and together. And now just with the toes tucked, you're going to extend the arms in front of you And just reach your bum back. You're not coming into a child's pose. You're really keeping the torso even. So keep the ribs tucked in. When I say tucked, I don't mean tucked and held. I just mean do not flare the ribs. And you're just going to move back, so moving your belly back, head nice and long. My ears are kind of next to my arms here. Really relax neck. Now relax breath. I'm just going to move forward. So my shoulders are over my rest, and then back again. So I'm just getting some nice movement in my shoulders here. Moving with your breath. And coming up on hands and knees again with the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And what we're going to do now is we're going to come into a nice relaxed breath on all fours. So I want you to relax your head and get a sense, letting the pelvis kind of tilt up towards the ceiling. So letting your belly hang and like your tailbone is coming up towards the ceiling. You're keeping your shoulders wide apart though. So you're not sinking in between your shoulders. The shoulders remain apart, your shoulder blades apart. And you're really just trying to let the belly and your pelvis relax here. You're letting your belly and all the musculature of the belly and all around the pelvis release. So your belly is coming down towards the floor. You can completely relax your neck as well. And you're trying to come back to that nice, easy breath. At the same time, releasing all of your abdominal muscles. So it's really this, and just keep letting it go. You may notice that you may think that you're completely relaxed, but just nice, easy breaths. Really letting all of that holding on. Just really letting gravity pull the belly towards the floor. You probably just feel the belly moving as you breathe. And just staying here for a second longer, just noticing this release of the abdominal musculature, how it feels to completely let go of all that tightness, the tenseness that we hold there often. And now coming back up to neutral, bring your knees together, bring your toes and your heels together, walk your hands back to sit on your heels. Itchy nose. So once you're on your heels, or if you can sit on your heels here, if this is way too much for your toes, I like to spread my toes, by the way. If this is way too much for your toes, just take some of your weight off by just coming forward a bit. And you can move from side to side as well. And if you can stay here, if not, you can come down or come to sit. We're just going to do a couple, or even putting something, sometimes it's nice to put something between your bum and your heels. You may feel comfortable as well. So I want you to just make sure that your ribs are over your pelvis, okay? So you're not leaning forward. And we're just going to go into a gentle twist. Now, really keeping in mind of letting that belly relax. And we're going to go into a twist just using the thoracic spine, okay? So we're twisting to the left. And our obliques, our muscles are really holding us here. Don't hold anything in your face. You're just holding your abdominals here, or you're holding yourself in this twist with your abdominal muscles. but breathing easy. Exhale, move to the other side. Holding, you're holding. Nice, easy breaths. And a release. Okay, so we're going to come back down now onto our hands and knees. And what we're going to do is, so remember our hands are underneath our shoulders and knees are underneath our hips. And we're going to lift the right hand as you lift the left knee off the floor. And it's a vertical lift. So you're actually just lifting the shoulder kind of up, lifting the knee up. So you're kind of lifting in the pelvis. And you're going to hold and come down. Before moving to the next side, make sure that we have our abdomen nice and loose. So we're not going to contract before we go into this motion. We're just going to let the belly respond. So again, if this is too much, you can always just move the leg or just move the hand on its own. Or you can go from hand to knee. So lifting the knees first and then maybe lifting the hands. I'm coming down. So you need to be able to breathe nice and easy here. Now, if you wanted to add a little bit more, you can even extend the arm and extend the leg, but you want to keep the pelvis where it is. You don't want the pelvis to rock up. And you can make a fist and really reach, if you want, with the fist and reach out through the heel. Maybe even try to relax the belly a little tiny bit. Just see what's going on. Are you really clenching anywhere more than you need to? And come down. You can be just going from side to side. You have to use your own. As soon as you start wobbling, losing your breath, clenching really hard, it's time to take a rest and move to the other side, or perhaps just take a longer rest. So I'm just lifting vertically. So I'm lifting my knee vertically, lifting my hand vertically off the floor. And if you want to go into full bird dog, you can reach. Reaching without lifting the pelvis up. You want the pelvis to remain neutral. And you're pushing out through the fist and out through the heel. And come in. These are all options. You can just still be going from side to side with the hand and the knee lift. But the key here is to do these without clenching and breathing really hard. So just really respect what's going on with you. And I'm going to do 2 more bird dogs, one on each side with like about a 10-second hold. So if you want to come with me, I'm going to reach both, keeping the pelvis where it is, reaching the fist, making sure that I'm not arching the back. My pelvis was just raising. So just bringing it down. And come in. And move to the other side. And come back. Bringing the knees together again and the heels, the toes. A little arch down my lower back as I walk my hands back. And I like to kind of, some people can get your heels right under your sit bones there. So you can try that. Opening up my toes again. So getting a little rock from side to side. Coming back to my breath. Ribs over pelvis. Tucking the chin, nice long neck in the back. So I'm going to move out of this position and almost into a squat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down on my fingertips and then rock myself up onto my toes. And if you want, you can even take your blanket that you've been kneeling on and put it behind your heels. I'm actually going to open my feet a little wider. And I'm just going to come into this squat. So you're going to open your legs as wide as you need to just see if you can come into somewhat of a squat. It's nice. It's a bit more support if you have something under your, and a little easier if you have something under your heels here. So I'm just in this squat. I'm just moving a little side to side. If this is, you're not here yet, if this is not feeling good for you, please just come right up to standing, because we're going to come right into standing now. So I'm going to just try to put my weight back a little bit in my heels here and push up to come into standing, okay? But if you need support to get up, go ahead and use that. So I'm really pushing to bring myself up. Coming into standing, I'm just going to give everything a little shake. Taking some breaths in, breaths out. I gotta find my place again, as always. Let's just bring the arms up towards the ceiling. Nice big stretch. I'm just going reaching vertically up. So almost stretching up from the back body. So I'm not arching my ribs to come up and compressing my back. Just bringing the arms up. I'm really reaching up. And I'm just going to move from side to side. So a little side stretch. From side to side. The arms don't have to be down up in the air. They can be down by your waist. I'm just stretching from side to side. Coming now with your feet underneath your pelvis, we're just going to do some, what would I call them? Calf raises, I guess. So we're going to come up onto our toes, or on those, the padding underneath your toes. So we're going to be coming up onto our toes, really thinking about and watching for your ankles and seeing if they're not coming out to the side. So you really want to be thinking of vertically coming up. It's a great time to have a mirror even to just make sure your heels are not coming towards each other, okay? So we're just coming up. Really great work for the ankles as well. And come down. Just continue with those up and down. Also great for balance. And we'll do one more, or maybe two more. I'm just going to hold this one for a breath and come down. And come up again. And come down. You can give that a little shake if you want. And I gotta check the time. Oh wow, okay, it's really close. Okay, we're just gonna give the hips a little shimmy and a little shake from side to side so you can open up your feet. I like to still have mine pointed forward. A little bit of weight in my back. I'm just getting a little more motion in the hips here. Okay, we're gonna come back down on our backs. Of course, I had more planned, but I always plan too much. We're gonna come down again onto our backs, and we will get everything ready again. So you're bolstering for your shoulders and your head. And get your block ready. Coming again, with shoulders supported, Head supported. I want to check in with my pelvis. I want to check in that my ribs are not flaring, keeping the ribs down. And now with your block, you're going to bend the knees. And you're going to put the block on top of your knees. Your hands can be down by your sides. We're just going to gently move the block from side to side. So we're just shifting weight from one side to the next. Check in with your belly again. Have you already, before you even started, were you holding and clenching? Okay, so you may want to take the block off. See what's happening with your abdomen, with your legs up here. Make sure you're not clenching it unnecessarily. And then moving from side to side. And now, so I'm moving side to side, but my pelvis is still on the floor. It's not lifting. My shoulders are still on the floor. They're not coming up. And now what I want you to do is lift when you're coming over now. So I'm coming over towards the right, but I'm really coming over because I'm lifting my pelvis off the floor on the left. So coming over and lifting the pelvis. So we're still coming over. The block is there, so not to drop it and to keep our knees at a level height. Okay? So when you come over to the side, you may have a tendency for one knee to come over the other. This block is helping us keep our knees even. So I'm coming over and lifting the pelvis off. You can come even a little further if you want. And it's a real feeling of lifting the pelvis off the floor, okay? Like pushing up off the floor. And you can come over then as far as you want, whereas like maybe even the shoulder comes off the floor. But you're really coming up, you're pushing this pelvis up the floor and then slowly letting it come down again. So it's not dropping it down, okay? You're lifting it up the floor, almost even like you're reaching the top knee a little higher. And then come down, nice and gentle. Take a rest whenever you need it. And always check in to places where you hold tension, like the jaw, like especially when we're doing something hard, we often clench the teeth or the face. And you can release that. Your feet can be on the floor here. Just bring your hands to your belly again. Come back to the belly breath. Just noticing the belly rise and fall. If there's any last movement that you feel your body is asking you for, you can go ahead and do that now. We are going to be moving into Shavasana pretty quickly here. So I can give you a couple of options, but please, whatever you feel you need, go ahead. I'm going to bring my knees up again and just bring my arms nice and straight and bring my hands onto my knees. And I'm just going to be rocking around on that lower part of my back. So you can just come side to side, just massaging around the sacrum. So that lower part of your back. I'm not bringing the knees all the way in and curling the spine, okay? If you want to come back into that figure four, you can do that. And moving over to the other side. release. And now you can go ahead and get ready for your Shavasana. So staying exactly as you are, or you can put some pillows underneath your knees is really nice. Sometimes even legs up the wall when you have the pillows underneath your pelvis, like we did with the legs up in the air, is really nice. So you choose whatever is going to feel best for you so that you can relax. So just coming to rest. Knowing that all those exercises or abdominal work can be done anytime, and I encourage you to do those throughout your day, or if you're ever laying on the floor watching TV or something, is a great time to do some of this work. So coming back to your breath. Sending love to your belly. Just noticing your breath. Notice if you can get some nice full breaths. I love to feel the ribs and see if I can get my hands to move on my ribs, or notice my hands moving on my ribs as I breathe in. Want the ribs to move. Release the jaw. Create a little space between your teeth. Remove the tongue from the roof of your mouth. And start with the top of your head and move down. Just asking all the muscles in your face and your forehead, between your eyes, to release. Around the jaw. The throat, the back of the neck. Just letting yourself feel really heavy. It's so important for us to take these breaks throughout the day to just bring our nervous system back into this place of ease, as well as our muscles. Allowing them time to relax and release. Your whole back body. Just notice everything touching the floor. Notice all the parts of you that are touching on the floor. And see if you can make yourself become a little heavier. Scanning our bodies. And letting go a little more. These breaks are like a nice reset for your body and your nervous system. I encourage you to stay here. Your breath. For as long as you need to.